Welcome, everybody, to the 2024 Derby City Classic. This is the One Pocket Division. This is round 4. I am your host, Scott Frost, aka The Freezer. As you see on your screen, two giants of the game. One in the great Tony Chohan, and the other, Roland Garcia. They are flipping for the break. You are supposed to lag for the break, and following that, it's alternate the break. Each opponent has a designated pocket. The first person to make any 8 balls in that pocket wins the game. Any foul will cost you a ball. 3 foul rule is, in effect, 3 consecutive fouls will cost you a game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Fun fact here, Roland Garcia had a slightly difficult draw in round 1 against the great Joshua Filler. Filler did win that match, so Garcia coming into round 4 with a loss, and obviously another tough draw in Tony Chohan, aka T-Rex. Now, that being said, I would say this is literally a coin flip in a race to 3. Garcia, if you don't know it, you better. World-class one-pocket player. Tony Chohan, the also-creative giant of the game. Garcia, off to a pretty good start. If Chohan cannot see the 12, this causes big problems. I don't think he can see enough of the 14. Okay, so he could see enough of the 12 to nip it over and go into the 5. That was totally controlled, played to go into the 5. And now things are slightly reversed, right? Garcia looking to go up in that corner pocket, but his big concern is the 6-8 combination, possibly even the 11-7 combination. I don't think you can leave him up table. I think you've got to bank the 3 and draw back over to the side rail below the left middle. I think that's what he's going to do. This is more concern about the cue ball than it is the object ball. If he makes it, it's a bonus. And he's cut it very thick, and everything went wrong there. Chohan can play the combination if he needs to. He could even get to the 5, I believe, but I think, knowing Chohan, he's going to play the 11-7. So Garcia with a mistake early. Chohan off to the races. Like to come into the 7 here, I believe. Maybe he might be able to beat the 2 ball, actually. I'm not sure if he can draw past it. That's what he's tried. Yeah, he's going to have a thin cut here if he wants to play it. That could be an error. Does have the 14. Boy, that's awfully thin. He is close to it, so it's a little easier to judge, but it's a real, what we call blind ball. Basically chopping the thinnest edge of this ball here. Very good view. And this is probably to win the game. He's caught it thick. Not only that, he's lost the cue ball. So Garcia with an unlikely opportunity to get back in this game. Yes, so he can play the 14 and then come towards the lower middle pocket here and carry an angle on the 5 if he'd like. I think this is probably the play. I'd like to move something there in the pack at some point. He's going to take the angle. Might come into the 1 now, which would probably be his best bet. The problem is, if he doesn't catch the 1 correctly, he could trap himself. Yeah, I think catching the middle of the 1 is probably your best bet, middle to the top side of it.
15 minutes is your race.
Because if you catch the top side of the 1,
Players will be
you're going to go into
announced
the
on
4 with the
deck.
cue ball. I think
If your
everything
race is
works
running
out
long,
there. He's going to get a
don't
shot on
let
the
it be
9.
running long. If
So
you're
this is
home,
okay.
come down to the desk. They may or may not be able to read
This
a
is a
copy
center
of
cue
your
ball with a
table.
touch of left. Maybe a touch of left.
If you are not
Yeah, and
there
that's
for
what
your
he's done. He's come into the
final
1, caught the
and with
4,
your
got a real good shot on the 9. Is he straight?
QR code
Does
so
the
you know
8
where you are
play?
playing and when you are playing.
If the 8 plays, I believe he can draw between the 6 and 4.
If y'all need a referee, have somebody get in
If not,
contact with
we
Greg
are
Reed.
playing on 4.5-inch pockets this year.
Or down here, we will have somebody
Typically, if you're this close to the object ball, you can force the cue ball down, cheating the pocket just a little bit to the 12. So he's looking to draw between the gap, come up above the 10 possibly, and that's good too because the angle carries you down behind the 15 and 2. Definitely a little touchy. Big decision here for Gomez. Well, if the 1 goes, this is as sweet as it gets. He's opened all those balls up. Just doesn't want to get too steep on the 12, right? You get too steep on the 12, then you've got to make that cue ball work for you. So you just want a nice angle to draw back behind the 8 and 7 on this 12 ball. Unless he thinks he can get there now, he might have enough angle to get there now. Oh, he did. So that turned out as good as it could have, and Garcia in the driver's seat to win game number 1. He's got choices. He could come up in towards the 6 now. Oof. That one wiped its feet. He's playing for 3. Does the 6 pass the gap of the 7 and the 4? It looks to me like it does. If it does, he can get anywhere up there. Playing for 2. Come one rail over. Above. And that's going to do it. In game number 1, Chohan undercuts the 2 ball. And this is why Garcia is so dangerous. He is a shot maker, and he will take game number 1. And it's Chohan's break. This stream is brought to you by Bad Boys, or in cooperation with Bad Boys Billiard Productions. Thank you guys so very much. So Chohan to break the balls. He must hold serve this game. It is a race to 3. And he's going to need to beat Garcia on one of his breaks in order to win this match. See how he hits these. And Chohan with a pretty good break. There is an escape to the 15. There is an escape to the 15. Yeah, so he can get to the 15 ball if he'd like and go forward. Only concern is that the 15 could catch a piece of the 3. He could catch a kiss there. So it's not as easy as it looks. The return from Chohan could be very powerful. Do you take the chance at stopping on the 15 and hitting it with speed into the 3 to try and clear them? A little risky. You could leave Chohan a bank of some type. If he's looking to aim it like this, the 3 is going to come back over to Roland's side, but how do you know that you're not going to leave a cross corner for Chohan or some type of a kiss? He is aggressive. This is a little risky. Huh. I just learned a shot. He played the cue ball all the way around behind the 5. Pretty clever there. Very clever there. What a great play that was. He played a combo cross bank and followed the cue ball 2 rails to protect from any return bank. You see, if he would have left the cue ball there on that lower right diamond, Chohan would have had a bank on the 3. This is going to kiss straight into the side. Garcia with another opportunity in game number 2 to do some damage. So he's looking like he'd like to come down there. That tells me the 5 might have a gap between the 10 and 8, and it does. Wow. The 2-3 does not go. I believe the 10 has him eclipsed by a fraction. Cue balls need to settle. It's got a little too much speed. He does not want to be below this 5. Here's the problem. He can get one or lose the game. Those are typically not odds that you want in your favor. What else can he sniff out? Yeah, so he's looking to play the 5 into the balls possibly. Yeah, this is landed awkward. Looking at 3-railing the 4 maybe and going into the 5 with the cue ball. Carom the 5 towards your pocket. If it doesn't catch the 8, you'll have both going that direction. Well, he's done okay with the cue ball. What's the 4 going to do? Well, no broken bones. All is well in Garcia's world. Consider looking at chipping off the 13 and putting him in the top left. I'd at least entertain it. This is difficult. Watch out for the kiss. Okay, he's kicked it. This is what he's great at. He kicks at balls to put pressure on his opponent where a lot of players won't. He could 3-rail this 11 and just stick right there. If he gets the 11 close, this shot could be dangerous. This is all about the speed. If you make it, it's another bonus. But you've got to get the speed there. Well, he's done okay. Well, or has he? Can Chohan get to the 5? He's going to stun this. Yeah, Chohan wanted a little more of a rub off the 15. Garcia looking to cut the 3. It's thin. He's got to spin it with extreme outside English. Boy, it looked to me like he moved 2 balls and the cue ball went up into them, but maybe that's just me. The 10 does play, the 2 plays. Can he get position? Might have to shoot the 2 now. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to come across. He's got options. Needs that cue ball to settle. Doesn't want to be on the rail. He did not want to be there. A little lazy, possibly. I believe now he's forced to shoot the 10. And he'll be happy to get 2 from here. Going at the 10. Oh, and he's got it fat. Like I said, he'd be happy to get 2 from there. It wasn't easy. Yes, he's supposed to make it. Yes, he's supposed to probably get out. Chohan owes 1. Needs to make something happen. What do you do here? Chop the 15 and come up for the 5 2 rails? That's what he's done. Cue ball took a hot bounce, so he isn't on the proper side of the 5, I don't believe. So he's going to have to cinch this. Unless he thinks he can get position on a bank and then get position on something else. But I don't see it. Definitely don't want to be forced to cinch this ball and then make your opponent's 10. Especially when you owe 1. That's what he's got to do. Take his medicine. 1 will come up. Chohan playing for 7. Garcia playing for 3. Nicely executed there, keeping Garcia off of any type of a kick or any type of a bank, at least on the stack. Well, Tony's going to 2 rail the 13, I believe. A little surprised Garcia didn't hit that thinner. Well, he's lost the cue ball here. He's caught that ball way too thin. This is clearly not the start that Chohan wanted. Anybody's wondering what that little spot is above the 5, that is actually a diamond, and it is where you rack the World 9-Ball Tour Magic Rack that Matchroom is putting on for the 9-ball event. He's got this too thick. He's also played the cue ball, so that tells me he wasn't confident in making the ball. Really trying to protect his lead. Yes, so in the 9-ball event, the 9 will rack on the spot. Yeah, you wanted to get a little more out of that. It's going to be okay, but these are probably going to go up table. No, no foul. He caught the 4 going in. I think you can stop on the 13. The 15 goes left. The 5 is going to throw a little left up table. The 13 will go one rail to the right towards the left middle. This is just fine as well. Nothing wrong. Less risk. Tony definitely wants to find something aggressive. Garcia knows the first look Tony gets, he'll take. This is a pretty good shot. Like, really good shot. I don't know that he can see the 9. If he comes this way, he's going to leave a bank at minimum. Looks like he's planning on just chipping off the 7 and leaving him on the bottom rail. Don't want to move much of the 7. Is he going to come all the way around? Very, very good shot. Very good shot. Oof. Got a lovely little rub off the 8. That contains the 4 and keeps trouble. Gonna try and kick bank the 4. Like that. Doesn't want anything to wire up, but I don't think you can execute that much better. Garcia looks like he does not want to go out of the 1-pocket tournament in round 4, if he can help it. Oh, another great hit by Chohan. I mean, very, very, very difficult to just stun that cue ball from the length of the table elevated. Be careful that you don't wire these balls up. He's going to look at the 5-15. It's pretty thin. Could roll the 9 in. Is there some type of a creative shot like the 5 into the 14, bank the 12 to your side? Well, that's what he did. 5 into the 14, bank the 12 to your side. Does he have him completely covered on the 12? If he does, could be trouble in River City for Garcia. The 9 causing issues with the bat cut on the 6. Otherwise, I guarantee you, Garcia would entertain. He could come off the 6, maybe, and make the 12 with extreme left hand English or outside English. He's looking like he might be able to roll this in. But you're going to have to keep Chohan off a bank. It's about as good as he could do. He couldn't ask for much more. Chohan is going to do something with the 6. All depends. Does he want to play it towards the 8? Does he want to play it towards the 15? Probably want to go into the 9, but you've got to be careful because the 14 can cut from almost anywhere if you're Garcia. Well, he caught the wrong side of the 9. He wanted to catch the full side or the bottom side. And that was about the worst result you could get for Chohan. What his concern is here is he's catching so much of the 13 that he's afraid he might not come up with a shot. I think he can go full into the 13 and get a shot on the 4. Okay, he's gonna win this game as well. He's playing for 2. Chohan gives it to him. Garcia taking full advantage of Chohan's slight mistakes in both of these last 2 games. And these are our stream sponsors: Hustling Clothing USA, JB Custom Cases, Jerry Olivier Custom Cues, Littman Lights, Locked and Loaded Custom Billiard Apparel. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring our stream. Garcia with a 2-0 lead and has all the momentum right now. We do know how quickly that can change. Can he see the 12? Is there a gap between the 3 and the 11? Or is he looking at the 3-2, play the cue ball up table in the top right corner? Yeah, this is tricky each way you go. Very tricky each way you go. I think he can see the 12, but the problem is the 12 doesn't go due to the 14. I'd like to catch the bottom side of the 14 if he shoots it. Yeah, and he can't really do anything with the cue ball. Now this is pretty good from where he was. The difficulty of that shot I cannot explain, but the accuracy of coming off the 3 had to be perfect, along with the ball speed. Can Garcia get him behind the 14? Looking to kick the 14. He's using a low English. You've got to catch the top side of that ball in order to do anything good. I believe this is the first shot that Chohan's really had since game number 1. Can he get position on the 15? Got to stay low. I was wondering if the 15 cut from the low side. Tells me it didn't, the way he played it. And because of the way the 6 ended up, and the 4-5, this isn't easy. Yeah, he is in a bit of a bind. Might be able to kick 3 rails if he can swerve past 2. Can kick 1 rail, but he'd have to put a lot of inside English on it to miss the 12 and hold the cue ball up. So tricky little position for Garcia. And this is difficult. He's looking to stun the cue ball or straighten it out. It's going to bend. Did straighten it out. He's hit it about as good as you can hit it. With that speed, it's very difficult to judge. Chohan cannot take a bank at this 2 unless the 4-5 or excuse me, the 12, unless the 4-5 are on, but it looks too steep from this angle. So I don't believe he'll entertain that. He's going to just have to bunt the 12 over to his side. Well, he took it on. He's played the double up. Teasing Garcia with a 3-2 combination. He will carry the correct angle to go into the stack if he elects to shoot it. But he's betting the game on it. Does have a takeout on the 12, so he isn't forced to shoot this. It's extreme right English. He's going into the ball first. I felt like he was really gambling doing that. And he made the point, if he was playing dice, he would be very wealthy. Because the 12 got covered up by the 14. So, pretty fortunate roll there. Could have made an easy takeout, just kicking it with middle right or low right. 1 rail towards the pile. Tony looking at possibly playing the 12 off the bottom of the 10. It's not there. Is he looking at the 10? The 13 does go off the 5. At least goes his direction. He can play a nice cue ball as well up into the 8. I don't see a lot that can go wrong here. He's got the 7 as a blocker. That's what he's going to do. You've got to make sure you catch the 8 here. did catch the 8, so he's going to have protection. Easy escape here by Chohan to the bottom of the 13. A lot of people or amateurs feel like they've got to hit that ball hard. There's no reason to hit that ball hard because your opponent now has to do something. Hitting it hard could cause a mishit or risk of selling something out. Is he going to play the 7 off the 11? 7-11. He could play it off the 11 with high cue ball. It will draw the 7 and go forward. Well, he didn't get away with this one. He caught it way too thin. Chohan has an opportunity. Playing for 7. In a big game, obviously, but you're never out of it, even though you're down 2-0. Doesn't want to get elevated over the 14. He's going to be forced to shoot the 11 now. He must be thinking, what do I have to do? Oh, caught that thin. Turned out just fine. He can come up to the 8. Now he's going to have to come backwards to the 5 or 4. Nicely hit. Now he can go to the 9. Playing for 3. Well, a little steeper than he wanted. Now he's going to stay low. 14 or 4. At the beginning of this run, I can promise you, he wasn't thinking he was going to run all the top balls. He's coming down to see how many he needs. So he's got choices, but it better be the right choice. Garcia, shot maker. And Chohan finally wins a game at the right time. 2-1 Garcia. Chohan's break. I want to thank these event sponsors. Thank you guys so much for putting it on. Diamond Billiard Products, Ian Simonis and Simonis Claw, Aramith Billiard Balls, Outsville AccuRack, AccuStats Video Productions, and last but not least, the long-lasting Masters Billiard Chalk. Thank you guys so much for putting this event on. So that was a massive game there for Chohan to crack Garcia's break. Pretty big game to keep him alive, but that's what Chohan does when the pressure's on. He seems to excel. Can he kick to the back of the 13? Can he see all of the 13? Can he see none of the 13? Boy, if he could kick to the back of the 13, kicking the 13 towards the 3, sticking him behind the 14, that would be sweet. I'd like to see it. It's a high cue ball. You want to hit the 13 a lot thicker or deeper than you think. He elected to go to the 9, and he sold the 13 out. So you can feel the momentum shifting. Chohan jumps out of his chair. Does he want to nudge the 6 here and open it up? If you do, you could be elevated over the 2. I don't know. Do you want to come back around for the 9 and 5? Well, this was my concern going into that ball. I figured at best you would be elevated. At worst, you can't imagine being snookered on the 10, but he is. And this is horrifying. One pocket player's worst nightmare. And he's elevated. He might have a bank on the 11, and it's probably as good as any safety that there is. Let's see what he's thinking. Yeah, and that was just devastating, the spot that he was in there. He took a chance, though, to go into the 2. Didn't have to. The 9 and 5 were available. He could have come around. So, did he deserve it? I don't know. Pretty cold to get snookered on the 10 from there. I'd like to catch the top side of the 11 or the 2 here. You can brush the 11 and get a shot. It is steep, though. The 2 and 11 are pretty tight. You catch the 11 full at all, well, it might be better to actually catch the 11 a little more full and clear the 2. Okay, so he decided to come below and just open him up. Pretty smart as well. I like the shot. He didn't get the angle he wanted on the bank. He wanted to stay a little lower. Very clever. Is he playing position? I don't think you can. No, he tried to shorten it up. He tried. So Chohan still has life. Nicely controlled. Played the 11 to his side. Roland knows an opportunity slipped away there. Now, you're not way behind in this match if you're Chohan. I don't know that you need to do anything ultra aggressive. He's going to kick to the 12. I think this is okay. Well, was it worth it? Was it worth a ball? No rail. Garcia's got a clear bank on the 2. He's asking Garcia if he wants to do it. It does spot, is what Chohan was saying. And I feel he handled the spot job quite well. The 2 is available. I'd say he's a favorite to make it. He knows that he's betting at least the game on the bank, possibly the match, because you can't shoot the bank without going forward to play position. There's no point in playing the bank to get one. Makes no sense. At least I would be surprised if he plays this bank and draws the cue ball. Could use the 15, I guess, and play to just get the 2. And that's what he's done. But if you leave a bank on the 2, you lose the game. And that's what he's done. So when your focus is split like this, it always seems to happen. Chohan has a huge opportunity here. He's made it. And now, possibly a favorite to win this match. Garcia will be breaking on the hill. Well, he's falling pretty flat. He's over the 15. Making it hard on himself. Did as good as he could do there. I know I couldn't have done that. I am terrible with the bridge. 12 does go. Oh, he didn't want to catch the bottom of the 4. He did well. Playing for 4. He's got to get a good shot here. As soon as I say that, is he snookered on the 10 or can he make it? Two railing the 4, nudging into the 13. He's great at this. He's great at this. Doesn't have the juice. Just a fraction light. Chohan playing for 3. And they were right there. What is this? He can kick one rail to the 4. He's a huge favorite to make it. Is he looking to bank the 8? Chohan still needs 3. I don't quite understand this decision. Okay. Yeah, that's what I assumed, but you can get the mindset or see the brain of Garcia really starting to think aggressively. Don't think you want to bank the 5 here. There's nothing real wrong with it if you want to bank it towards the 10, but I think you're better off. Uh-oh. 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 It was a little awkward to slide the cue ball over and catch the 13 full enough there. So what a big error here late in game 4. Chohan said, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, this is going to hurt. Oh, he's missed the 8. He's flinched as well. His arm went in. The back arm turned in right at the last second. He was putting a little inside English on the ball. If you miss the ball, that's why it tends to happen more than not. Does it have anything to do with the pressure that Chohan put on him? Either here nor there. We are all tied up at 2 apiece. Gomez to break. Do us a favor if you get an opportunity. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe, Railbirds TV. Hit that notification bell. We'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. All the good, fresh content coming your way. Well, you're supposed to be a heavy favorite, breaking the balls on 4.5-inch pockets in this position. But after what's happened the last 2 games, does that play any part in what's to come? And to me, it looks like it does. He has scratched off the 11. Chohan has a shot on the 11. Garcia put the coin on the wrong side. And he's clearly facing elimination in round 4 of the Derby City Classic. I'd like to split the 5 and 9 here, just go up to the 13 and 2. Like so. Coming to the 5 now. You'd like to get above the 5 if you can, not below it. If you do get below it, you want an angle to go into the 2 easily, if needed. That's why you want to get straight or above it. He's okay. He can draw back now for the 14. Might even have an angle to get to the 7. Well, he's overdrawn it to no man's land. And he has snookered himself on the 13 and 2 as well. So a gift from the gods of pool for Garcia. Or is it? Pretty kinky little shot there. He used the thin hit on the 15 with a high cue ball to stun it. So in other words, basically a kick and stick off another ball. It is used playing one pocket quite often. How does Garcia handle this? Does he just go straight out into aggressive mode? Or can he regroup? I think the first thing he needs to do is move the coin to the correct side of the table. That would be a start. So he obviously feels that the 7 doesn't bank. Chohan must be able to punch this forward 2 rails. And much tougher than it looked. He did great with that. Protecting the 8 as well, I believe. He's looking to see if he can see enough of the 8. And that's pretty good, too. That's pretty good, too. He's trying to keep the pressure on Tony. I think Tony needs to stay passive for the meantime. Just bring the 3 to your side. Come down. You're going to let him see the entire 8. I don't know if that was right or wrong. He's at the table. Garcia looking to entertain the bank on the 6. Boy, it looks like he's got to really twist this. Yeah, he's really got to get English out of this. And if you don't make it, where is your cue ball going? I would consider the 2-railer on the 8. You've got protection with the 6. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. The 4 does bank, though. Well, he's decelerated, allowing the cue ball to go through. He's left Chohan a shot on the 12. And a good one at that. He might be able to hold this cue ball. 1 rail into the 14. And that's what he's done with great accuracy. Chohan playing for 4 and a backdoor win, trailing 2 games to 0. You're never out of it in a race to 3, especially if you're Tony Chohan. Playing for 3. Just needs a slight angle on the 1. I believe he's perfect. And just like that, you're out of the tournament. Heartbreaker for Roland Garcia. Well done to Tony Chohan. I am your host, Scott Frost. Garcia going to set a couple things up. It's not going to do him any good this tournament. But my quote of the day is, when you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let it go. And that's the setup shot that he went through and had his arm turn in. There he went through the ball much better. He twisted his arm in a little bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let it go. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.